Good morning, traders. John from Crypto Candlestick Trading. I just wanted to do a quick update on Bitcoin, but before I do get to that, I'd like to do just a little bit of a history with Bitcoin and what we should expect from the position that we're in today. Basically, it just gives us a better idea of what potentially could happen. Here is Bitcoin today on the daily chart, and this is Bitcoin on the previous time that it was done under this scenario. Now, the scenario that I'm talking about is basically we're under the 50 and under the 200, and we're now approaching, we've had our low by the looks of it, and we're approaching the 50 again. The only problem is that we're, approaching this 50 and there's previous resistance. Previous support becomes new resistance. And we've also got the 50 and a downtrending line. Yeah, we've got good strength that's come up to there, and we've got good volume to support that as well. So this is Bitcoin on the US dollar. So I've got the same picture here for where we are now and compare it to each time that it's been in this position over the last 5 years. I think there's only about 12 pictures or 12 times that it's happened or something. So we'll just go through and have a look and just kind of, just take what we can out of it. So here we are approaching the 50 right now today, where we are. And we've got previous support becomes resistance, resistance, broke through. Now we've got resistance here. Got the 50, a downtrending line. So we've got a few things against us. This, looking at it from here, from this side, we've had a good pop there and a good pop there. We didn't have any volume to support that. And then we've come down here and then all of a sudden the volume started to come in, after it broke the 50. So looking at this here, we don't have any problems at all in waiting until it closes above the 50. Let's have a look at another one. Oh, let's go back on that one. So here is the next one. So here again, and comparing where we are today with where we are, where we were in December 20. So we're down below these major moving averages, and look at this, bang, a big pop, brings us up to below the 50 and the 200, but very close. And then we've had this, really big candle, but we've pulled back a huge amount, which is very negative for a breakthrough. And then we've come down, and then we've got another pop like this one, excellent volume, which is very good. And then we've got the same again here, which is good, but it's just not quite. And then here we've got one, that we're after. And so, from here, it doesn't mean that, it's going to be hugely successful, because what we need to look at from here is the first point of resistance is going to be the 200 or the highs over here. So, and we'll see that in a few of these that we do fail at that stage. So here we could potentially see failure. There's no doubt about it. So that's what I'm waiting for with this here. I'm either looking for a big push like this, a big nice breakthrough. Yes, okay, probably turn out to be about 46,000 or something like that, or whatever it's going to be. But after it does break through that, I'm expecting 200 to be the next line of resistance. So here we are. Here's another example. Come down below the major moving averages again, and we've had rejection there, and then all of a sudden, bang, pop. Got nice volume. Stochastics oversold again. I would have liked a better candle, but we'll just have a look and see what happens. Here we are, another one, so the same again. So obviously that last one worked, and this one here, we'll have a look on the next one to see if this one worked. So the day the tide turned, so that was this day here, here we've got that first pop, after indecision, and a beautiful looking reversal, set up here. Nice. I would have liked a fuller candle, but anyway, I didn't get that. And then it still carried on and continued on its uptrend. So, and we've got a little bit of, that's not excellent volume, but you can see that it did break and beat the previous day. So this is looking at that. So this is that chart right now. An extension a few days later, or about a month later from this chart, is what we get here. So we can see here that the day the tide turned was this one here with a nice reversal. It's gone and it's popped up, and we didn't really have very good volume on this one at all. So, but have a look at what happened. And I think that's from a clear result from lack of volume. Even though it did beat the previous day, stochastics weren't coming out of oversold with this one. And then if we're having a look over here, we've got stochastics are oversold on this here as we're approaching this. We've got a nice pop here, but didn't break the 50, and then we've got a nice pop here with excellent volume. So, and this one here did turn out to be a successful trade. This one here coming down below the majors again, and then a nice pop. We've got an increase in volume here. Stochastics were oversold. Nice volume pop there with the tide turned. You can see that, and then we've got a nice close above the 50 there. So not on very good volume, but it was increasing volume. This one here, so waiting for one like this, nice pop. So this is what we want to study. you know, and I find it very important to take these on board, because if we do get a breakthrough above the 50 on good strength, what can we be expecting after that? And then, you know, for me, my first point of resistance would be around about the 200 area, which is around about what we've got here. So even if we do break through this 50, what can we expect? You know, is it worth a trade from here to there? And you know, and then even if it does go from here to there, are we going to be looking at reversals here? And if we are looking at reversals, what are they going to look like? You know, at what stage are we going to deem personally in our own personal accounts that it hasn't worked and it's rejected at the 200 and turning away? And how we do that is by reading every day's candle. So if it goes up here, we've got a massive engulfing, and then it's consolidated. Try a little bit. Again, it's above the 9, bang, a nice pop, and then we've got all of a sudden we've got a shooting star. From that area we've got a doji or Harami doji basically saying that the buying has stopped. Then we've got a shooting star, which is very negative. Now all of a sudden we've got a double top at the 200, a reversal shooting star, and then we've got an engulfing off there. Then we've got a closing below the 9, and then we've got an engulfing closing below the 9. So, somewhere in here, it's got to tell you that, hey, this isn't working very well, especially after this one here. So here's our first warning. Here's our indicator to say, hey, it's not working. But anyway, nice pop, nice breakout. Do they all work? No. So here we are. This is the same again. So we've popped up there. Excellent engulfing, reversal here, and have a look what happened. So, this is why we have to obey what the market's, is saying it. So, telling it. So 9,800. So this is around about the 10,000 mark anyway. And then it came all the way back down to 5,700, so, and that's in a very short period of time too. Oh, not very short, May, June, July. Yeah, it's decent. And then we've come back and we've had another breakthrough here after the lows, which is nice. So, and have a look at, this here from the reversals that we're talking about. Like we've got a real decline. We've got 20% of candles on the decline. We do have a little bit of a reversal there, engulfing, and then we get our first, more so of a solid closing candle above the 9. Now the 9's making higher highs and higher lows. This is our second, close above the 9, and then we've got volume picking up, and yep, this is all looking pretty good now. Lows, highs, higher lows, higher highs, and we can see that even from the 9 EMA that's gone in our favor. Okay, so down here, waiting for this, and then up here. So this is the one that I was just talking about, and this also failed. So we've come up to here and reached there. Now we've got a Harami that says that the buying has stopped, and then we've got an engulfing that's tried, and then we've got a doji, and then we've got a hangman, and then we're going monster close below the 9. And so at what stage here are you going to say in your account, this isn't worth holding anymore, I need to get out? If you were to be buying in, say here, for example, where would you say that your exit is today, or, at what stage? So, but clearly we can see there's rejection and indecision here at the 200. So what can we be expecting from this here? Potentially a breakthrough. And if we do get to the 200, we could actually even see a rejection. We could see anything. So on to the next one here. So come down, nice decline, massive reversal there, good bit of buying that's come back in, and we've got a nice close above. Now the 9 EMA is making higher highs and higher lows, and we've got a second close above there, engulfing, closing above, and then have a look at the here we've got the volume popping up, and we've got the stochastics oversold. So things are looking pretty good for this one here. But what actually happened, it's well, actually, if there was no other one that went in front of this, that means it was a successful trade. But if we have a look at it, it's good, but it's not excellent. These always work better above the 200. And as you can see clearly where we are today, we're a fair way away from the 200. Like that's 41,500 or somewhere around there, and then it's going to go up to say 50,000. That's a good 20%. Run between here and there. So I don't see, this is still downtrending. We're still under the major moving averages. We haven't really made higher highs and higher lows. Now we've got a low here, and I suppose a high there, but I want a 2-candle pullback. This just doesn't look 100% to me. Looking at this now on the weekly chart. So here we are on the weekly, great run up, and then we pull back to the 50. Had an engulfing off the 9, and then we've engulfing off this, like uptrending channel. And then we've come back down to here, and it looks like now we've got 4 points. So there's a lot of other people that would have seen this as well. So up, down, so we could come back down here and like hover between here and then take off up. We could do anything. So this is just something to look at. Oh, there we go. This is just something to look at to say, well, what are the potential, what are the chances of things happening here? What sort of direction can we anticipate that, it's going to happen? So here we are on the day, on the daily chart, we've got resistance, sorry, support, broken through support, found support again, and then we're up and we're finding resistance at that support, even though we've got good volume coming in. But looking at these previous ones, we had good volume coming in too as we're approaching these. So it'll all have, depend on what we're going to do. We're going to break through there and then pull back to it and take off to the 200. Are we going to reject here? So basically what I'm looking for here is a monumental rejection or a nice solid breakout. And between that, I don't really want to be trading it. So so here we are. I'll just go to the live charts now. So here we are on the live charts and having a look. I'll just go through some of these. That's on the weekly. And so here we are on the daily chart, looking at that. So yeah, it's we've come up, had an attempt. We've got resistance here. It's done some good things, but all it's done is come up to resistance, and there's some serious money that, decisions that have been made at this resistance area here. Look at that, we had a shooting star to the south side as soon as it broke resistance last time. Got good support there, and now we're back at that resistance level. Got good volume, but, let's just wait and see what happens. I'm not in a major rush to be getting involved in anything at this stage. But in saying that though, I did actually buy back into Mana at 288. And which was late and didn't really turn out to be. But then again, I made 10%, so who cares? And I also got FTM. I also got back into a position with FTM, and yeah, so it's only a small position to them. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw those two out there. I'm not in anything else, except for my long-term stuff. So look at this. Yeah, who knows? We could still hit target. Yeah, anyway, we'll have to wait and see. Tezos, look at that, beautiful. Like, these are all telling a very similar story. They're coming up to resistance and finding rejection at the 50. Like this here, it's looking like a pretty negative scenario. Anything could happen, but it's just, when it's under the major moving averages, it's usually negative. Until we get a pop of that and a good solid, amount of buying and follow through after that, then we're good. But up until that, I think we're in a negative environment. And so down, up, and I don't really know what all the other YouTubers are saying. I don't really care. I've listened to other YouTubers, and I just find that they throw a spanner in the works, and you can't think effectively, and sometimes you'll make your mind up and you say, okay, well, there's nothing here for me, and then you get on and have a look at a YouTube channel, and they're all song and dance about something, and then you go ahead and buy, and then all of a sudden you find out you're lost, and because you shouldn't have listened to the YouTube channels. That was my story regularly. Here we've got a nice closing above the 9. That's we've got we don't really have our first attempt. This is our first attempt. But if we get another pullback and another close above the 9 with higher highs, like check this out. So there's our first attempt there. Nice up pullback, second attempt right there. So this is our first attempt here. It'll be interesting to see what we get, because if we're having a look at this as well, we can kind of see there's a little bit of support happening down the bottom here too. So around there and around here. So interesting to see what could possibly happen with Matic. This one here, yep. So that's actually where I sold back the first time, 322. So yeah, it bounced at the 200, and I kind of missed my opportunity there. But hey, I still made 10%, so it's not the end of the world. So there was a few others that I wanted to have a look at. One, yep, it's good, it's nice, it's bouncing off. But I don't like this pullback, like this sort of weakness here. It's gone up and then, 20-30% of pullback, especially on a breakout above the 200. Like I want to see strength. I want to see some real conviction that all the traders are going, nah, I'm sick of being out. I want to be in. It's going to go up from here on. Like once all the traders have made that decision, then it's, it's looking good. When half the traders sell off, it's not very good. We can just see going through these ones here that going through, we've got some major resistance above us, and it's either the 50 or the 200, or a trend line 50 and the 200. So not a very good, strong in trading, trading environment here. This is looking all right. It's going up and it's pulled back, and then we've had an engulfing close above the 200, which is good, but stochastics oversold. But we can kind of see that there's a, support line here and a resistance line there, and we're in the middle. So It's quite dangerous trading in the middle. Yeah, bouncing on the 200, like I'd much rather be trading that sort of thing here. Look at that, we're getting engulfing off the 200, which is quite good. So I'm just not a big fan of where the other, the other markets are at the moment. You can kind of see where we are at the moment. Looking at it in, longer term history, back at the charts that we looked at before, it's still got some work to do to prove itself. At the moment, it's not there yet. Yeah, we can see that this market still is still trying. It still needs to, it's still quite negative. Even though we've had a few positive days, like it's just quite negative. Shiba was actually pretty good. There's 23% on that one there. But like if okay, we've had a nice breakthrough. We've had okay. Let's just open this right up so we actually see what it is. So I'm sure this would have a lot of traders very excited and stuff. But one thing that we can say that has worked in favor. We've got stochastics oversold. We do have some reversal candles here, and we get a nice big pop with good volume, closing above the 200. But what's the problem? We've got a downtrending line, and we're under the 50. So a lot of the traders use the 50. Like big money trades the 50. So when we get a pop above the 50, let's just have a look to see what had happened. If we're going to start getting a pop above the 50, that still would have worked. Pop above the 50. I don't know what that would have looked like a little bit closer. That's our second pop above the 50. Not very good volume, but volume was increasing pretty quickly. So, I'm just always looking for, the 50. Big money trades it. So I'm looking for either a rejection at the 50 or a pop at the 50, to break. I want one of these to break through the 50. Then, a small pullback, and then when it turns red to green, then I'll be looking at it. So, but between here and there, there's nothing here for me. This to me is danger. We could actually have, a very similar event to this happen right here. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, traders, I hope this has helped. That's just a basic picture of what I'm looking at. I'm not really interested in getting into anything. It's just struggle street to me as far as I'm concerned. We've had a nice pop, but we're under major resistance and trend lines. So, once we get more confirmation from what we're looking at, then I'll be more interested in buying. At the moment, it just looks like it's sideways to negative, and it's having an attempt at a pop. Once we get more confirmation of that pop, then I'll be more interested. All right, traders, I hope you're having a good day. And if you have any questions, let me know. Talk to you again soon. See you.